What's going on, everyone? So, Lakers love to kind of move and operate in secret, right? A lot of the trades that the Lakers have made over the last few years kind of been the trades that have kind of came out of left field. Now, there have been some that, like the Utah trade was reported for like a year. And it was like, oh, it's going to happen. It's not going to happen. And then eventually it happened, right? There's some moves and some trades that are reported that actually get done. But we saw like the Luka trade, the Rui Hachimura trade, right? Like things like that where kind of comes out of left field. I mean, even the Dorian Finney-Smith. Now, Dorian Finney-Smith was heavily reported, but it looked like he was going to Memphis, and then the Lakers just kind of came in on the final hour, and boom, ended up swooping him up. Even the Mark Williams trade, right? So Lakers love to kind of operate behind the shadows, right? Rob Pelinka is just orchestrating, being the mastermind behind the scenes, going like, let's see what the next trade is. And Lakers have a lot of needs, right? Need multiple centers, need multiple perimeter players, 3-and-D wings, all of that, right? Like Lakers have a lot of work to do in kind of reshaping this roster. Lakers are kind of in this position that's not great to be in because it's kind of awkward, right? Where you want to compete and contend for a championship, but you also kind of want to rebuild and retool for the long haul. Like you're doing like a soft rebuild. But the reason it's not good to do both is because you're trying to juggle two things that usually are best when you're picking a direction, right? Your full rebuild or your full contending, right? Where the Lakers are trying to kind of balance both. But there are options and ways to do so. Regardless, a Lakers trade is probably, I think it's fair to say, is going to happen. Never say never, right? I just don't like speaking in definitives because, the NBA is a crazy thing. I mean, the Luka trade is a great example of that. But I do think that the Lakers are going to, I'm very confident when I say that the Lakers are going to make some trade, right? Is it the ideal trade? Is it the sexy trade? Is it multiple trades? Like that, I don't know. But I do think the Lakers are going to make a trade, right? To at least solidify their center position. But one of the things I find very interesting, we are getting closer and closer to the draft. And Lakers, yes, they don't have a first round pick, but they do have the 55th pick, right? Which is a draft pick that they could draft somebody with. And usually when that happens, you get heavy reporting of the Lakers working guys out. Right? Lakers are working out. These guys are interested in these guys, or maybe this guy could be a draft piece or whatever, right? And you kind of get the draft buzz, right? There's other things going on. You get other news, you get, the trade speculation, you get a lot of things that go on, but you usually get some form of trade or draft information, right? Lakers are leaning more center, Lakers are leaning more forward, Lakers are leaning more guard, Lakers are looking for the best player available. Here's the 10 players that the Lakers are interested in, right? You hear the same thing every year. Whether the Lakers have first round picks, no picks, right? There have been years where Lakers don't even have a pick, and there's talk about the Lakers in the draft and maybe interested in this guy and that guy and working out guys because they want to buy a pick or whatever, right? You're not hearing any of that stuff so far this year. There was reports like a month ago that the Lakers worked out a couple guys, right? And like Eric Dixon and stuff like that was like that. And it's been pretty much quiet since then, right? The Lakers worked out these guys, and then that was that. And look, I'm not saying the Lakers aren't working people out, right? It's just that's usually a bit more focused. And look, maybe as we get closer to the draft, maybe we'll get more information on that, right? Like you got the Kevin Durant trade, you got a bunch of stuff going on amongst the league. Memphis and Orlando just pulled off a shocking trade, right? So maybe that's it. But you have Laker reporters that only do the Lakers. Right. And you would think that there would be more buzz on the Lakers with the 55th pick. Obviously, no one's expecting the Lakers to draft a superstar with the 55th pick, but there are several options that make some sense for the Lakers, right? That, hey, maybe you could work something out. So it kind of piques my curiosity. And look, I want to be clear. I'm not saying that something is going to happen, but I do think it's pretty funny, pretty interesting. I was going to say another word, but I'll try to keep this, family friendly. I do think it is interesting that the Lakers are not really exploring the draft, right? Or at least it appears that way. And, they're not just going to start working out a bunch of guys like 5 days before. They're like, usually it's a process, right? Because you're doing it in waves. You get reports, like you get a huge list of like Lakers worked out these 7 guys, right? And it's like, okay, cool. And I understand that, the 55th pick is as close to the end of the draft as possible, right? But there was a lot of buzz even on like the Lakers 55th pick last year, where it was like, are the Lakers going to draft Bronny with the 55th pick? Here are 5 other guys that the Lakers could take with the 55th pick. The Lakers are going to take, Bronny with the first pick, or, their 17th pick, right? First round pick, right? Here's 15 guys that the Lakers could draft with that, right? And look, I don't expect there to be as much buzz for the 55th pick as there would be if the Lakers had the 15th pick, right? Obviously, there's going to be a lot more kind of attention to that, a lot more, details to that if that's the case. But I would expect there to be a little more. Again, we got news like that the Lakers were working these guys. Like, are those the only guys that the Lakers worked out? Lakers just worked out like 6 guys and then we're just like, all right, we're done, right? Like, like you think that there'd be some news, some type of reporting. So that kind of makes me think, like, is something about to happen for the Lakers on draft night, right? Involving their 55th pick. Now, look, it could be as simple as Lakers take the 55th pick and, a pick swap and move up in the draft. Right? Maybe, you got teams like Brooklyn that have 5 first or 4 first and then the 36th pick. Right? Maybe they're moving up to get the 27th pick, right? Maybe they're trading a pick swap and, the 55th pick to get into the first round, right? Towards the end of the first round, but still in the first round, right? Maybe the Lakers are, trading that pick and going to get a player, right? Maybe a team like Brooklyn is going to draft a center and do all this other stuff and are willing to trade Nick Claxton. Maybe the 55th pick is going in that trade for Nick Claxton, right? Maybe they're doing some type of swap. Maybe it's Nick Claxton in the 36th pick and, Lakers give up the 55th pick plus whatever else, right? Like, there's a million scenarios and potentials and possibilities that could happen for the Lakers. And I'm really curious to see how does that go down, right? Like, it's just, again, it could be nothing, right? Tinfoil hat on. It's just fun conversation, just my own speculation. But been very quiet for the Lakers. Not a lot's happening. Getting inching closer and closer to the draft. And it's like, so what? The Lakers are just doing like nothing? They're not worried about anything with the draft? Do they just kind of like, whoever falls there, falls there? Do they even know who they want? I mean, even just like basic generic information. Like, you don't even have to do anything fancy, right? Like, I don't need you to tell me like, oh, Lakers are drafting this guy for sure. Like, even just like, hey, Lakers are looking for a center in the draft, right? Like, here's some information. Here's 5 centers that the Lakers are interested in, right? Here's 2 that the Lakers have worked out recently, right? Or the Lakers are interested in, a 3-and-D wing. Here's 3 guys that they've worked out, Sion James, Kobe, PV, these guys, right? Like, okay, here you go, right? Like, I don't know. I'm starting to go, I've done a couple here on this channel, going through basically everybody on AS, the Lakers show, right? Kind of that way the channels are maintained and stay different. But I'm going over, if you're interested in that, all of the potential draft players, right? Over on AS, the Lakers show. And like, it's just, I feel like I'm doing more as far as like potential for the Lakers and news and stuff like that than what's actually out there, right? And look, I'm not an insider, I'm nothing like that. It's just like, hey, here's potential with this. It's just kind of me breaking down and analyzing these players, right? But it's just, again, Lakers like to move in silent. Lakers like to get things done and keep things as hush-hush and tight-lipped as possible, right? Stuff gets out, right? Usually it's intentional, but stuff gets out. It's just, are we really, like, Lakers just, again, are they doing nothing? Are they just going to kind of be like, hey, let's just, we have these 6 guys. One of these 6 should be there, maybe multiple of them, and we just take, and they have their rankings of those guys. Maybe they've already worked out the guys that they liked, and it was just that group that was mentioned a month ago. Right? Maybe it's that simple, Right? Hey, we worked out these guys because these are the guys that we think are going to be in the 50 range to undrafted range. It's not really a reason to work out anybody else because, who knows. But like, I just think you'd want to do your due diligence. Wouldn't you even want to work out guys to potentially move up? Right? Like guys that are in the like maybe 30 to 50 rate, like anybody that's in the second round, wouldn't you want to work out to move up? I mean, you have teams working players out that don't even have picks because they might potentially want to make a move to land a guy, right? But I think Boston worked out a couple guys that are projected to go like in the mid first round, right? Like stuff like that. It's just like, what? Like if they're doing that, we're getting news and reports for that. Why aren't the Lakers doing something like that? Why aren't the Lakers, making, doing, because again, Lakers need young, versatile talent, right? Like Lakers, yes, don't have a history of being a development team, but they're a team that absolutely is trying to be. It's why they like revamped everything and their development team and all that stuff. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.